Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of TalkBack. I'm Dio Kiji, and joined with me tonight, my two personal favourite people. On my right, I'm going to start with Natalie. So we've got Natalie Natural Right, our poetic justice, our woman of substance, a teacher of the youth, a lover of the arts, a DJ. So many things I can say about my girl. Okay, right, so that's Natalie Natural Beautiful Right. She has so many aliases, can't keep up. And then to my left, of course, we have Cassandra Green, aka Miss Black Barbie, aka Cassie, and in the studio, aka our diva. Yes, she doesn't even like it. She doesn't like it, but this is, of course, Cassandra. And myself, I am a DJ, a presenter, many other things, but more than anything, I am a mother and an artist myself. And all the goodness this life has to offer, I'm part of it. I get involved in everything. So let's just see what's trending. That's how we're going to start the show. Let's see what's trending on social media. Let's see what's been going on out there before we jump into the main topic of the day. Right, so let's start with Child Q. There's been a lot of buzz about Child Q, and I know that it's really hitting the community heavily, because I've had so many phone calls and conversations about what's happened. Do you want to break it down for us, Nat?
So that was the young girl that got stopped and searched,
right? And
she was on her period or something, and they actually really didn't they make her?
Okay.
Take out. Well, it's definitely bringing issues of safeguarding. They have a duty of care. The teachers, the staff, and the police themselves. Everyone has a duty of care for that child.
Okay, let's give you a little backstory. Yeah. Let's give you a backstory. So there's a young black girl. She's probably about 15, I think it was at the time. This happened 2 years ago. I'm not quite sure. It's only come to light now because the case wasn't really handled properly from the school to the police involvement. So basically, a teacher had complained about one of her students saying she smelt of cannabis. So the young girl didn't have a say. It was a Caucasian teacher. I know that word. Anyway,
I didn't say anything.
So it was a Caucasian teacher that had an issue with this girl and said that she smelled of cannabis. So then they called the police. Police turned up. 2 female police officers strip searched this girl. Okay, they've stripped her down to literally her underwear, and the girl's saying to them she doesn't have any, she really wasn't sure what was going on. But I think the part that really is disturbing the nation is the fact that she was on her period and they still made her take off her underwear and violated her in some kind of way.
And do all of this, and she's a child.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the backstory, and that's what's been happening, and we're calling her, or the nation's calling her Child Q for protection, data protection services. But the argument and the situation is the safeguarding. Where was safeguarding? I know Cass is so passionate about this, so I'm going to let Cass.
Okay.
Cass, go on.
I'm just putting out here, it says she was made to remove her sanitary towel and to bend over and spread her legs, use her hands to spread her buttocks. See, that in itself is a violation of a child's rights. That is ridiculous, and you could imagine that this child, in the care of all these adults, being her teachers and now the police officers, she's going to feel obliged to comply with whatever they're telling her to do.
Yes.
Right? And that is where the problem is, because if she was an adult, she would have felt, it's necessary to object to any further searches or to demand her mum. But the fact that the teachers are there...
As a child, can you? Because obviously
Yes,
I'm a teacher, they come in smelling the weed, we can call the police. But we try to approach it with a more nurturing approach.
But you have a duty of care of the children to ensure their safety, their emotional well-being, that they're safe, and that being in your care, you're effectively acting in place as their mother. Right?
But there was nobody doing that, and even when she was being searched, no teacher was in there. It was just the 2 police.
Was it at school?
No, it was in the school.
You're not even allowed to be interviewed
without a parent.
Without an appropriate adult.
That's
Do you understand?
Really?
So that's really shocking. It's disappointing.
But partly because it was was a black girl coming from a certain culture, there's assumptions being made.
It's East London as well. So already, just what goes on in East London and the way people of colour are treated, it's a big issue over there. Some people are saying that this young girl, in essence, was violated and raped in a way.
She was, and she's still got trauma now.
Yeah.
Definitely have trauma. Now, if you imagine, the trauma is going to come about any time she's searched. Airport, club, you know, any situation you could imagine her being stopped by police, not her per se, but imagine if she's in a car with another adult and they're stopped. All of these things are going to trigger that trauma. Right? This little girl, she obviously is going to need counselling. She's just going to need a lot of support to help her, and it doesn't mean that she's going to overcome that trauma. Some traumas live with people, they stay forever, right? And it was just not, it's not justified for smelling of cannabis.
I think we just saw what she said, actually, dealing with her trauma. We just had that up on the screen where it says, I need to know that the people who have done this to me can't do it to anyone else ever again. In fact, so no one else can do this to any other child in their care. Things need to change with all organisation involved. Even I can see that. And that is coming from a child.
But actually, the attitude that a lot of our young black children have towards the police is that way because of things like this. And this is a young girl, and because of her period and all that, it's being highlighted. But if you imagine the violations that happen with our black boys and getting stopped and searched and labelled just because of their skin, like my son has been stopped. He's 6'5". He looks, you know,
like an adult.
He looks like an adult. Well, he still looks young, but
whether he's an adult or not, the police have to have a reasonable suspicion to stop someone, right? There has to be some sort of intelligence beforehand or suspecting that you are on the way to commit a crime. That is how it works, and it's quite specific. And that's why when black people are stopped and it's unjustified, ask the police to give you the record of the stop and report it.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you for a minute because you're really going in terms of how you can protect yourself. So I think that we can move on to the next hot topic because we can dive in next week, because next week's topic is going to be centered around this kind of issues and what people of colour and such are facing. So the other big thing that was happening on social media was Jussie Smollett. If you guys remember the guy from Empire, he was he was the son of the music mogul. Yeah,
he was the eldest, wasn't he?
He was the eldest, and he was playing a gay character. So what he now did was apparently, supposedly, allegedly, right? Because we don't know if he actually did stage a situation. So he staged an attack apparently, that he was harassed and beaten up. He actually had physical injuries, right? He had physical injuries, and the police from his estate feel like fools because it came out that he actually made it up. There were two brothers that he had employed to actually, in essence, beat him up. And then he tried to push it to say that it was because he plays a gay character, that it's homophobia.
He is gay though, isn't he? I think in real life.
I'm not really sure.
He is gay. Yeah, he's actually. I think he's gay.
I don't think he actually admitted to it, did he?
No.
Trial. So if someone goes to trial, it's because they've got not guilty. They've said, look, I've not done what you've charged me of. And just for the fact that he was found guilty doesn't actually mean he's guilty. How many black men are in prisons for things? Do you understand, for things that they haven't done? So I don't feel that he's necessarily guilty just because a jury found him guilty. I don't know the facts. I didn't watch the case.
He's found guilty. What was the sentence?
So the situation was that they kept him in, and then he had to get bail. It was a heavy bail. He got the bail, and now he's like obviously trying to fight his case, but he's no longer in jail. Now my issue when I heard this story was like, hold on a minute, there's so many other people that have done worse, so much worse, because even if he did do it, he set himself up, he got beaten up, he incurred the injuries. So really what they're trying to stick on him, they want to sentence him, right? And I'm like, that's just not fair. There's so many other
like imprisonment.
Yeah, they want to imprison him.
What would the charge be?
I don't know, for wasting police time. And they want to make an example out of him.
I was just wondering, where's Weinstein? That case was obviously quite big, wasn't it? And it was to do with a lot of
Pedophilia, all of that.
Where is that man? Is he still? Is he incarcerated?
No.
But this is the problem all the time. Anytime a person of color does anything, it could be minute, the way they magnify it and turn it into something else, so just so they can have a race, have someone to say, all right, this is our scapegoat, this is an example, this is who we're going to attack. But let's just move on away from Smollett. What about Kurt Zuma?
The cat kicker.
Right.
The footballing cat kicker.
Yeah.
Kicked his cat. Well, he kicked his cat, or somebody threw his cat across the room. I think his brother filmed it and posted it online.
Yeah.
And then the whole world went absolutely mad. He lost a lot of his, I think he lost a lot of his sponsorships. And there was a lot of hype about, you know, cruelty to animals. But then there was, I think there was a video that came out of another footballer saying, well, the amount of racism and...
So so another footballer, so people are like, hold on, not long ago, there was a footballer that kicked, he actually did a physical attack on a ball boy, you know, the ball boy, and nothing happened, he just got a slap on the wrist, he just had to pay a fine. Now this guy, he's done whatever he's done to his cat. I mean, animal cruelty shouldn't happen, but is the cat's life more important than the ball boy? Or is it just the fact that he's a black guy and he's harming his cat? So now they want to send him to jail for 6 months.
No way.
That's what I'm hearing.
I thought he actually got a fine. I thought he had to pay, because I've been seeing all the memes with these cat counting the money. I thought he got fined by his football club.
It's like,
I saw something. I saw a post that said they want to charge him.
Comparison made about the footballers that actually do racist acts towards others, and they're fined and they're allowed to return back on the pitch and continue. So I think the comparison was, it's fine to be racist, but you're not allowed to kick a cat. So let's weigh up do you understand the balance of the two? And that's this institutional racism that has plagued the world. I wouldn't even say it's just UK, because it happens all around the world, where there is institutional racism in every single aspect of society.
Unconscious bias, as they like to call it these days.
Unconscious bias. It's very conscious. You cannot just tell me, oh, it's unconscious bias.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes people are ignorant and they're almost oblivious, and I think there's been a big, especially since George Floyd and the whole Black Lives Matter, there's been a lot of racism, but there's been a lot of public show of, no, we can't have racism. A lot of committees.
Just to make it look good, darling. Even IOPC, the whole process of if an officer's racially discriminated against you and you want to take action, the questions that they give to you, I've actually challenged them on it. Your system is just there to look good, right? And it's just there to keep people quiet. It doesn't work. And I just believe, it's still the same. I don't think anything's changed from the days of back in for Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. They were like the strongest, civil rights activists, and we're in the same position today.
Oh, this is it.
We have made some progress.
Where?
But I don't know.
If we were to apply for a mortgage and I was to enter my details as a Caucasian lady, my quote would come back cheaper. And as a black woman, the white lady's quote would come back cheaper. Do you understand? Lower than the black.
There was that thing in Harlesden where a couple of years ago with the estate agents as well, and they didn't want to take black tenants.
Okay.
But I think what happened with the Black Lives Matter thing, it just highlighted the level of racism and what people actually come out with, and it's like, wow, is this really? Where are we?
What century are we in?
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. Next week we're gonna have to go in on this matter. Yes.
Okay.
And also our involvement in activism, because we're all activists. We get heavily involved in these kind of things. I feel next week we can really dive in, and if you have any opinions or you want to share a story and experience you've personally been through that's racially been directed at you or any member of your family, please do get in contact with us and share your story, and we'll read it out, or your opinions, or anything you have to say. So we welcome your views. We like it candid. We like you to talk back. So let's move on to our main topic. Okay, so this week's main topic is, what is your status? Okay, or status. What's your status? Yeah, is it a situationship? Are you in an entanglement? Or is it a Texaship? I can't even say that word.
What's a Textaship?
Is it a Textationship?
Taxation, you ever heard that one?
Well, it's Texan.
This is what I'm saying. So there's all these titles, labels for relationships or different types, forms of relationship. So situationship, entanglement, or taxationship. What do you guys? Okay, let's start with situationship. What's a situationship to you guys? What's your understanding of it?
You've got all these words being thrown around.
Right.
I shared a meme the other day. It was something about just relaxing and what was it? Relax, have sex, and admit that we have official feelings for each other, but we're not in a relationship. So it's like you're together but not together.
So yeah, actually, my understanding is it's an undefined romantic relationship. Yeah, because I had to Google it. Like, I wanted a proper definition. Okay, it's an undefined romantic relationship, unlike friends with benefits. So there's friends with benefits. We
Benefits is what I've called that.
We've all heard that over the years. So it's very different from friends with benefits. Because they can be feelings involved in a situationship, whereas friends with benefits,
it's just
friends with benefits,
getting extras.
Right. And the terms of condition of a situationship is very, very much different. But the situation is that there is no end goal on the relationship, or it's not well defined. So that's what a situationship is. Have you ever been in a situationship, ladies?
Yes.
Share now. Which one is yes? Currently. Oh yeah, let's share. Yeah, just us. Oh yeah, Nat, just us. What are you even doing? Your face is like you have a line.
I'm watching Situationship now. Well, I met somebody and it started off as friends, but we were just in each other's pockets all the time, and we're spending a lot of time together. We're doing business together. We are working together, and it just, for me, it developed, but for him, it didn't really. Well, it did, but he didn't really want to change. What did he say? He doesn't want to change the small print.
Okay, so you wanted this to develop into a
Yeah, because I thought it did. As far as I'm concerned, like, I don't think you ever start in a relationship. You don't meet someone, oh, we're together.
Yeah.
It's supposed to evolve.
Right.
So then as it's evolving, I'm a bit like, well, you know, where is this? Where is it going? And he's like, no, I'm not a girlfriend.
But do you think that do you think that is the problem, is the fact that everyone's always scared when they first meet someone to say, I want a relationship, or if you want that?
Yeah, and I think
and have that conversation.
I think it's a grey area these days, because I'm not someone who wants to pressure somebody into anything.
Right.
And I do feel like you need to get to know somebody before that you call it something serious, before you bring them around your family, before you bring them around your children. So you do have to have that time of getting to know each other. But I think it's important to define, like, to find out what that guy wants early enough.
Oh, definitely, do your best.
Yes. But it was confusion, because I didn't think he didn't want a girlfriend. I thought that there was options.
Okay, so I've been in a situation.
But he still wants to hold on to me, so I don't know.
No, but this is it. This is it. I can't.
The goodies.
But yeah, it's very confusing.
But there was a lot of emotions in there. It wasn't just friends with benefit. Even though you said you were inside each other's pockets, you were, really entered each other. It really wasn't friends. Is that then friends with benefit, or was that still a situationship?
I think it's a situationship, because to me there's feelings on both sides, and there's time and investment and care.
Right.
But then it's like, well, where is it going? And I kind of got to the stage where it's a bit like, well, I need my man.
Yeah.
Someone who wants to be committed to me, somebody who wants to give his time to me and spend all of that time and wants to, that's what I want. So that's what I have to aim for. And if you're sitting around in a situationship with someone that doesn't really
want a relationship.
We'll say that he does want me, but he doesn't want the relationship or the title or the definition.
Right.
Then, well,
what do you do? Do you stay in that, or do you?
Well, no, not really. You're not supposed to. No.
So what did you do? Are you still there?
Well, he's my friend.
Okay.
I still love him.
You have a friendship. You still have a
friendship.
friendship.
He was my friend, and that's how it started. And I think if you are going to be with someone, it should be somebody that's a friend.
Yes.
You should be on the same page. You should share the same interests. You should be able to spend time
with each other.
And then it should evolve into something more. But then, you know, it's a lot. Men have different views. He's a little bit younger than me, so it's a bit, you know.
Okay.
I don't want to put pressure on anybody. You know, everyone has to live their life. So,
I mean, for me, I can't do situationships because I don't even have to do that. Like, if I meet someone straight up, I like to be in relationships. I love being in relationships.
How quickly though?
I'm saying, listen, first I have children. I say, you start talking. I don't even know if you're actually chatting me up. I don't even know if I've embarrassed myself. I don't even send. Straight away, I'm like, I have children and I don't date. I only date in order to get into relationships. I know exactly what I want. So keep it moving. As in, don't waste my time. Let me not waste your time. And someone was like, oh, that scares them away. Exactly. Go away.
yeah, I think that's
don't
good.
waste my time. You know
It's
what
good,
I mean?
yeah, to have that because it keeps you safe.
Yeah.
Love can damage your health, darling. So it's like I think it's important to define, and I think I've learned from that situation because I'm not going to get into a situation like that before and be like, well, what do you want? Where is it going? But like you say, it can be quite scary for men. But in my own self, I do feel like you do need to get to know somebody.
Yeah, you do. Even if I do get into a relationship, that's the knowing period. I'm not going to spend, because most situationships are like 5 to 6 months. I'm not going to spend 5 to 6 months getting to know you in order for you to turn around after we've had situations.
And you know what, it was 6 months. It was like 6 months of togetherness, and then it's like, so where's this going? What? I'm like,
it's too late to ask after 6 months though, even because you've gotten to know each other. You're thinking we've gotten to know each other, it's more comfortable now. I can open myself and tell you what I want. But by then, he's comfortable with the way
things are. And that's what it is. I don't want to change the contract.
Why would he want to change it if he's got the
Because he can have his cake and eat it.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
How do you know you're in a situationship though, Cass?
You don't know until it's too late, is what I'm saying.
You wouldn't know until it's too late.
Maybe when you try to develop it into a relationship.
Yeah, and that's where it begins, and then the woman finds out she's in a situationship, and she's like, well, I thought we had a relationship.
No, relationship, situation.
But what is a relationship? This is what I mean, because we've defined situationship.
What is
what is a relationship? Because a situationship is a relationship in a way. We've got all of these different terms, entanglement, situationship. If you're with somebody and you're sharing your lives in a lot of ways, and you're sharing time, and you're sharing emotions, and I mean, to me, because I would have this debate. We're in a relationship. I don't know what you're talking about. We're together all the time. We're talking all the time. Spending all our time together. We're doing everything. We're in a relationship. All right. You don't want to say that I'm your girlfriend, but this is what I mean. We're not married. And if you're dating somebody and you're seeing somebody or cohabiting, like would you cohabit then with somebody?
No.
You wouldn't cohabit until you get married.
I've done it in my past. I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't date someone and then, or be in a situationship and then end up like that. Like, I couldn't. For me, I'm not comfortable with situationship. I don't like situationship. Come on, situationship. I don't want it. But you know what? I
had a long relationship, and I think with me, I was in a relationship for 16 years.
Yeah,
and it was
with
like
children, everything.
And with children, and it was like, okay, well, I don't want to rush. I'll get straight into something.
Right.
So I was kind of like, you know what? I need my space. I need to do me. I'm doing my career. I'm doing my this. I'm doing my that. And I'm living my own life. So that's kind of where I was. I didn't really plan to catch feelings or to feel that way. It wasn't never a plan like that.
Because it was a friend we always sit together.
And but funny that we had that show a couple of weeks ago, the first show, and I got a bit of feedback.
Right.
And guys were like, well, women, do you have time? Do you have time to have a relationship when you've got a career and you're presenting, you're doing this and doing that? And it's like, I think the way that our lifestyles are, well, my lifestyle anyway, it is hard. It is, because he made some good points. I don't know if I agree with them all, but if you find somebody that you value, you will make time. And I think as women as well, I think it's important for us to be forward thinking and assertive, and I think as strong women, like, we need to find a man that is able to take on everything that we are. And it's like, I'm willing to humble to a man and make time and be that wifey, but you have to be worth it. And there's a lot of guys that they ain't really that.
Do you know what I was checking out the Urban Dictionary, and it said I was checking out what situationships is, and so I came across signs of when you're stuck in a relationship, because some people don't even know that it's a situationship, not a like regular standard relationship where the guy says I want you to be my girl and blah blah blah. So that's a standard relationship. So situationship is there's so much emotions in there. So I wanted to know, like, what are tell signs that you are stuck in a situationship? There was like 8 or something, or 10. It says, when you notice that things don't progress, that's 1. You are not integrated in his life. You know, you said something about that. You're not integrated in his life. Like, in the situationships, they don't get to really meet each other's families, or if you can't be.
So that's a no though. With that one, like, I think. So that's a no on that one, because if I was integrated,
you were very integrated in the situation.
Friends and family knew me. So in that sense, that's what I'm saying. We were functioning together, going everywhere together. So then I wouldn't know. It's like.
But did you? Yeah, wait. That's what I want to ask. Did you? Because one of the third one was you don't go on actual dates. Where are you going on dates?
I mean, we went on a couple of dates.
You went on a couple
go out and we'll do things.
Yeah, but you guys were friends, you see. So you're not able to define.
It's
clear. It's not clear in that situation.
It's confusing.
It's not clear in that situation at all.
Because it wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and get in a situationship.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that's the plan. But it's a situation.
Okay.
It's into a ship.
But
and sail off into the love zone.
The backdrop was the situationship.
Yeah.
They didn't develop it into that actual relationship itself, right?
Okay. Were your plans consistent, and did you guys used to make plans in advance?
No, not like that.
Okay, that was number 5. And there's no future talks. Did you guys used to have future talks? That's number 6.
Kind of like about being friends and being there for each other and those kind of things.
Okay.
So maybe that's where the confusion was for me.
Yeah, because you were talking about, but he's talking about you as my friend in the future. My friend, we keep being friends.
Yeah,
you know,
but then that's what I'm saying,
situationship.
and I think listening to what's being said,
You have to
and taking off the rose-coloured glasses, because I think sometimes as women we want to hope for something,
right.
and we want like, oh, so he might be saying something like, yeah, well, and what I'm hearing is what?
Yeah, so you didn't do the DTR, which is define the relationship. You didn't do DTR.
But when do you define a relationship? That's my point. When? How? Because I feel you're quite formal. Like, all right, I'm dating. We don't do this. We don't do that. And me, I don't really date like that. I think I live my life and I do the things that I'm doing, and then the people that I interact with would be the people that I would interact with. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So then it just happened like that. And I think, I don't know. I try not to be too rigid, but then maybe I should be harsher. Now I'm gonna be, hey, chica, credentials, want to marry me?
To your wedding.
Yes, I think that's very.
Okay, Kay, I'm gonna throw the next one to you. How long should a situationship last, you think?
Oh, is it an average of maybe 6 months, maybe?
She said you should. This one's understand situationship. It's not defined.
Some people.
It's not defined. That's what I mean. It's not random. But it should last for 6 months. But forget the Urban Dictionary says. Listen, I had an argument at school about this. Someone was like, I read in the Urban Dictionary that kissing your teeth means F you. I'm like, listen, honey, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that as a definition. Urban Dictionary is such a.
Who made the book? Who put the book together?
The Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Someone urban. That just sounded so silly, like someone urban.
Caucasian?
Was it put together by Caucasian?
No, but what I'm saying is, it depends what you. It's like the Urban Dictionary. I mean, what does that mean? It's still popular opinion. So, how long should a situationship last? Like people can say people be in a situationship for years, then, but then it's a relationship. That's what I mean. You can't really define it. Okay. Situation entanglement. What do they even mean? What's an entanglement?
An entanglement? I have no idea. I don't know the definition.
Okay,
wait ahead.
Wait, but do you feel like, okay, situationships? Okay, let me say what I think entanglement is. Exactly what you said. Will and Jada, they coined that. They coined that word, right?
Yeah, entanglement.
And it wasn't really so much affairs, because they knew that the other person, the other husband, because they're a married couple, right? they knew that they were having sexual relations. It's part of their relationship, but it became a situationship because it was long term. She was with that singer for Trey Songz. Was it Trey Songz?
No, it was one of them young boys.
Yeah, and she was in it for way too long, and it became an embarrassing situation.
But did he know? Did he actually really know?
August.
Oh, that's it.
That was it. Yeah. So what's an entanglement?
When you get entangled with somebody that you shouldn't be entangled with.
An entanglement is, I believe, it's when you're in a relationship with your partner and you are
seeing someone else. So an affair.
You got a little booty call on the side,
but they know about it. Did Will know about it? So why was he upset? I don't if he knew, because I saw that red table.
She outed it. Because no, he's upset because she outed it. I don't think he was expecting her to expose their relationship in the manner in which she did. Because, you know, he was shocked. Didn't he cry?
He did. He cried. I don't think Jada's satisfied. Personally,
but I mean, from the beginning, it was a bit like, because she was in love with Tupac, wasn't it?
Oh,
and he had to kind of accept it, and he was like the good guy.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is what I'm saying, that the whole dating situationship, and what do you go for? Because Will was that straight guy.
He knew he wanted her to
and he wanted her, and he went after her. And did she settle for him? Where what she really wanted was the edge of Tupac, and then you went with Will. So then he's almost had to accept her fiery character and accept a lot of things. It's not what it seemed like, but I don't know how in the know he was about what was going on with.
But can we all just touch on the fact that I personally feel that Jada violated. I know like a lot of guys are like, oh, if that was Jada, I would go there too. The reason why the young man was in the house is because he was grieving. He had a breakdown. There was a lot of stuff going on in his personal life, right? And that's at a time where she, as a mother type figure, should have just been offering him that support.
She violated.
She gave him the old granny fanny and just sweet him with a good.
She wanted the
fine wine, and then he couldn't take it. It's not fair for old ladies to molest young children, okay? Because we got life experience. You know,
I don't think I'll be very happy. I don't think August's mum is happy or pleased.
No, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be happy with some old crusty granny trying to feed up my son. Get back, woman.
Don't you think that then can we say situationships, entanglements, these things are toxic?
Oh, definitely. What happens when you fall in love? Like he did.
He fell in love, yeah.
So what happens when you fall in love in this entanglement or situationship? What happens then? And especially with entanglement.
But that's how the whole thing came out. It was him that went and lauded the whole thing. Guys, it was him crying and saying he loves Jada. But then as somebody's wife, listen, you just be chopping her small.
She sweet him with the thing, you know,
She was too much.
You know, listen. She had experience.
Yeah, I know. He wanted a gift.
She is. Yeah, she put it on him. She put it hard here.
I was saying something about showerhead, and she was talking about shower, and I thought, ew, that's strange. And I didn't actually comprehend it until I had a shower, and I thought she's a.
What did she do? Put the whole thing up?
No, that's what I thought, and I thought this woman is raunched. The flow of the stream.
Oh, on
the clitoris.
Well, there's nothing really wrong with that.
I just think she's extremely raunched.
Not really. It's a bit more, actually. Girl, you need to try some more things in your life. A nice bath and, you know, enjoy yourself. I'm not against a little bit. Masturbation is not wrong, darling.
There's something,
When
nothing.
are we going to do the sex show? When are we going to do the sex show?
Yeah. I don't want to act like an angel.
Yeah, so that's all. They're all like, no. I'm the one. Team sex, let's get in.
No, we'll talk about it because someone bought me a toy one. So once, and they still under my bed.
You've never used it?
I put it under my ottoman.
Have you never used it?
I used it twice.
Wow, I need to get my ones get worn out.
It was in a relationship, not a situation.
I know, but I mean, even by yourself, like
I can't. Let's not even talk about it right now. So, okay, so in terms of the toxicity that I feel like situationships, entanglements, undefined friendships, friends with benefits, taxationships, I feel like all of those situations can be toxic to the person that's experiencing it, because you have an idea that you're seeing someone, whether it's defined or not defined, and even if some people will string you along, act like it's defined, and then after the they've gotten the good, it's all of a sudden, hello friend, and you're thinking friend. I swear what friend you were saying. I swear we were having a whole conversation, and you were making me feel like I was your girl.
That's how I felt as well. And then he was like, well, no, it wasn't that. And I was like, well, it was. What about this, and this? And it is about perception. So I do think we lack from being formal. Like, you know, like you say, the old school traditional.
I like the old school.
That it makes it more clear. But I don't know. It is difficult, and I do think in a lot of ways, like you say, it can be. I think entanglement is a bit more toxic than situationships. The situationship to me is basically a relationship, really, with somebody. And then you're saying about how long should something last. Like, I've been friends with this person. I met this person 2 years ago, and we're still friends, and we still interact. So then it's like.
But how do you tear away from the situationship? Because at some point you had to define that. Oh, actually, we're not in a relationship. We're just friends. Friends now.
That was the head smashing bit. It was like, well, okay, we're friends then. And then it took almost a whole year for me to get myself to a place where I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I had to let go.
And that's the thing. Some women don't. And just like the example that you used just there. When you're getting to know someone and they're telling you everything that you want to hear, and then when they get the goodies and now they've changed position, and some women mentally they can't hack it and they explode, and then the man turns around and says, oh, she's crazy over the deep.
Exactly.
I gave her the good thing, and no, she's upset because the way you treated her,
and that's what it is. It's sometimes about the principle and the communication, and then it's like you're trying to make me out to be like me. I'm very open-minded. I'm not really that morny girlfriend kind of one. Chilled. I want to live my own life, so that's how I was. But then they make you feel like you're insane. Like, I turned into like girlfriend Zilla just now before.
No, it's almost like they're scaring you to even don't ask me the question.
Yeah.
Like, you're silly for asking the question, like, what do you think? No, so I've been in a situationship. I didn't know it was a situationship because initially, like I said, I'm very traditional. So I thought it was a relationship. It was a relationship because we spoke about it. And we are friends at the same time, and we've known each other for years. And, you know, when I decided that I wanted to get back out there and start dating is different because I'm coming on a date with you, nothing needs to happen. Nothing. If anything happens, then I'm gonna have that conversation with you. What do you want? And I'll bounce if it's not what I want. Yeah. And when I asked the question, it was because we've known each other. It was very much yes. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. It wasn't even me that was saying. I wasn't even asking the question because he knows me, right? And he's coming up with this talk of we're doing this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and something in me was very, very worried though. Because I actually didn't want to be like stuck in that relationship. So for me, I actually wanted a situationship because I'm just coming out, do you know what I mean? And it's better to come out with a friend. But the confusion, you did all that confusion only when I now started feeling like, okay, I can actually
like you.
I can end up with this person. Yeah. But because remember, you keep
and that's the thing. The head game.
Now
the game in your head.
I don't have time for that. I don't have time for it. And then one day, I don't know what happened, and we were somewhere, and it was like, meet my friend. You know, from that.
Yeah. And you know what? Yeah, that is something. I know, and I think I noticed that early, but I didn't. That's when I say about the rose-colored glasses. Oh yeah, this is my friend. But I was his friend, so then it's like. But you want to hear, you know, like, oh, so you start thinking, but then it's like over the time, this is my friend, is my friend, is my friend. I'm like,
but then this is when I have to be real with myself to say, not to make myself feel any less of a person, but be real with myself to say, he doesn't see me as the one.
Yes, and he doesn't value me like that, and that's fine, and that's fine. But I have to aim higher for myself and have somebody who does see me like that.
Definitely. Okay, so I've got a few stats for you.
Oh, that lady is here.
Okay.
The brainiac.
So out of 1,000 women, 48% of the women responded that they want a man who is romantic. 26% of women believe in true love.
What, 26%?
believe
I thought it would have been higher, but I guess in this day and age, like everyone's kind of giving up hope a bit. No?
Yeah. So 0% believe in love at first sight. So in stating that, do you believe in love at first sight?
I'm going to throw that right back to you. Do you believe in love?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
You believe in love at first sight?
I do.
Okay.
I don't know if I believe in love at first sight. I mean, you can feel an energy.
You can feel
an energy to somebody in a connection.
Yeah.
But then, is it really love? Like the people. But then I remember the people that I have felt love for, that I've been in love with. I remember first meeting them. So does that mean it was love at first sight, or does that just mean that they had an impact on me?
I don't know. I don't even know what is love. What is it? You see them. You do googly
and you have
eyes.
that feeling.
You do googly eye for each other, and it's just, oh, our eyes have connected.
Well, that butterfly feeling, and that is something about newness and meeting someone and excitement, and that sometimes gets confused with love. It's not necessarily love, but there's interest and there's connections. But this is where it gets confusing, because if you do have that interest and that connection, how strongly do you feel for that person?
Right.
And then do you pursue it, throw yourself into their life? I like him a lot. And then you put in the effort because you think, you know what, he's a valuable person. I want him to notice me. So you put in the time to try and show them that, you know what, let's try something. So then where do you stop with how much you give to them and how much you show to them before they see you?
Yeah, so
and then when you go too far and then you get broken and then they're like, no, sorry, it's that mate.
So like how someone said on our first show, where it's like, oh, you do all these things when you have time to even, you're saying you want to be in a relationship, but when you have time to be in a relationship, like we said, I could make time for what I like to
someone that I will make the time for him, and I'll make him feel like a king.
But I'm not going to make make him feel like a king. I'm not going to make time for unsurety or uncertainness. Or
you have to be given that commitment before. But that's what I'm trying to say. This is what I mean. This is why it's so confusing, because if you meet someone that you value, then you should put that energy and time into them. But then How much do you give of yourself?
What's the taxation? What's the taxation?
Textationship.
Textationship.
I believe, is it
Pen pal, like before it would have been a pen pal, but now, you know, because now a relationship is different. We're talking about the dating show, where people are spread out all over the world. You could be communicating with.
Well, I was contacted by the Prince of Dubai. Yes. He said he wanted to fly me out and make me meet his
shit on like Barbie, darling.
Yeah. He sent me video footage. He sent me like clips of his Instagram. So I was like, is this really you? And it wasn't really him. And I thought the time that people put in, we're being
a catfish. Before,
not a catfish this time. A catfish.
Look, pictures, videos.
Prince of Dubai on time.
So what was he trying to get? You're gonna fly out there.
And he will shit on your face. I don't know.
They kidnap you. He's trying to kidnap you. Be careful, lady. Be careful.
To trick people, so there are
proper catfish
men that are dating people across the other side of the world, and they actually, you know, that movie that sitcom Catfish. It's real. And people have time.
But in terms of Textationship, so that was, you had a Textationship going on with the Prince of Dubai, your catfish, right? So have you ever had a Textationship?
I don't think it was like a proper relationship, but I think there was a time where communication began very much like WhatsApp. You're not actually speaking to people anymore, and I think the communication changes as well. People are reading your messages and they're getting their own, like they're inferring what they want from it. I think face-to-face conversation makes a difference, and I think like I had with my situationship guy. We used to video call, and that was something at first I was a bit like, what are you phoning me for? You're intruding my life. Right. But we had a lot of contact time face to face. It was really Corona time as well. And we spent a lot of time talking, and you know, like body language, reading their facial expressions plays a massive part in that. Whereas texting, sometimes it can be a bit like
misread.
So textationship for me would be hard. I do feel like you need that personal face-to-face contact, even if it is on the screen these days. But
but I think that's what it resulted in, online dating due to COVID, right?
Yeah, so that's how it started.
Going to the bars, going out and meeting people, so it did
start
transition, and I think it's kind of stayed there. Whereas men, I remember when I was dating someone, I'm gonna call names, but I was just like, he never goes out. He's always home. He doesn't want to go to a party. Then one day I saw his laptop. on dating apps.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand? So it was like,
You can't catch him because he's online
these guys,
dating.
yeah, but these guys, the way that looking at some of the dating apps, they're like, I've said this before, they're like little boys in a candy store. There's booty everywhere, and they just spoil for choice. Do you understand? So they're loving it.
Can someone fall in love over text? Can you fall in love over text?
It depends on how you communicate, because everybody is different. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, for example, if you are on dating apps and that's how you communicate, and you're spending time and you're getting feelings and you're interacting like that, then some people can. But if you don't interact that way,
Yeah.
so it just depends on the individual, really. I think.
Okay, so there's 3 types of taxationships
Oh, 3 types.
that I found. So there's 1, are we ever going to meet textation? So all this COVID development and taxation relationships, now the real world is open. 1 is, are we ever going to meet?
That's dry. Seriously, guys. Like, you need to meet people. You can't, it's not a text. Well, I suppose it's a textationship. I mean, are we gonna meet? If we ain't gonna meet, then
What are we doing?
I need a smooch or something, mate. Come on.
I need to feel some
oneness.
I need to feel some
comfort.
feel something.
Yeah, and some people want to meet to ensure that the person is real.
Yeah. Prince of Dubai. Catfish.
Check your hair.
Check your hairline, follicles.
Yeah.
And people do look very different
So some
sometimes.
people, and not just the women, the men are also using pictures of themselves in their younger days.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was like, oh, the women are a catfish, you're doing it too.
That's how one uncle. That's how one uncle. That's how one uncle. When this whole COVID thing was happening, that's how one uncle sent me a message, and I was like, "Oh, let me see what you look like." Sent me a message. He looked like my age. He looked, you know, I'm early 40. You know, and he looked buff. So let's have a FaceTime. When the guy looked like my granddad, like I said, you know the picture that you sent us on your profile, is that you or your son? He said, oh, that was me. And I said, okay, when was that? The guy wouldn't tell me when it was. I was like, you know what, sorry,
thank you,
cancelled.
no, thank you.
So not into it.
Well,
So
claim your pension and leave me alone.
I'm not really interested. I don't need anyone with a walking stick. So the second thing that they said was a platonic textationship.
Is it a taxationship?
Yeah, it's a platonic taxationship.
It's a relationship.
It's just like friendship, isn't it?
Then
Isn't it? Taxation.
the Asian ship that makes it into a relationship.
Okay.
There's a ship at the end.
It's a
But it's a
ship,
platonic.
yeah.
If it's platonic, then it's not. It's a friendship.
What about the
Yeah.
friendships that you have with your male friends that you believe are platonic, and then they...
At some point,
My ex would say, no man is your friend. No man wants to be your friend. They all want something else. They're not texting me for that. I used to say all the time, you don't know what men think. You just want to get in your pants.
Yeah,
But I do have a few male friends that are male friends that it's just like that.
Yeah.
One of them doesn't fancy me. I was quite offended. Excuse me.
No, I don't want my friends to fancy me. I don't even want you. I just want you to see me. I want you to respect me. I want you to just.
But I fancy him. That's the problem, isn't it? He's
My friend
gorgeous.
is my friend.
So then that's what I was trying to say, platonic friend. This again, it's all of this blurred lines. Like,
How do we wrap this up? So today's topic has been what is your status? We've touched upon our own opinion of what situationship is. What an
so what is your
entanglement
status? Should we say our status? Because I think I'm officially single.
No, I'm very single and I like it this way.
Do you?
Yeah, I like it. It's just I don't have time for complications and.
I want a mate.
No, like I don't want a relationship, situationship like Megan Thee Stallion and Tory situation. I don't want a messy situation with Kim Kardashian and her current.
But then, does that mean that you run from love then forever? Because I'm very closed off. See, before my situationship guy.
Yeah.
I was very closed off. Like, you know what? I'm not in it. I can't even be asked. I've got my own things to do.
Yeah.
But then it's like another part of me is like, can you run from love?
No,
Are you closing yourself off?
No, of course not. I'm not closing myself off from love, but I just know what I want, and that's where we're gonna leave it. I feel like taxationship, relationships, all of that stuff is all good. It's got a ship at the end of it, so that means you've got some kind of a bond, you've got something going on, and all there needs to be is an understanding, a level of respect. Relationships come in many forms nowadays. It just depends on which one you're happy and comfortable being in. I have given my own opinion of what I feel. Nat has given her own opinion on what you feel, and Cassandra, you haven't really said much today, have you?
What do you want to say? My status.
Yeah, what's the status? We've got like 10 seconds.
I'm in a situationship.
She's in a situationship, yeah. I managed to get her. Until next week, guys. We love and leave you with lights and hugs and all that good stuff. We'll see you next week.
Tune in. Take care.